I want to talk a little bit about the writer's strike coming to an end. There was a bunch of details. I know it drives Mary nuts that I care about this stuff. I want to go through a little bit. I know
it's a big deal.
Yeah, it matters.
But
it matters.
Just industry stuff.
Yeah, so we've got a summary of the writer's strike, the minimum bargaining agreement that has been reached between the studios and all of the writers and the union. So it's interesting because there's two schools of thought here. So Dallas Sonnier, he said that the deal isn't really much different than what the one pitched 5 months ago was, with a couple of caveats to it.
So they basically got what they wanted.
For the most part, he said.
They got the last laugh.
He thinks that the deal shouldn't have taken this long. Breitbart seems to think that they got closer to what they wanted on this. So let's go through a little bit on some of the finer points here. They got
minimum increases in pay and future residual earnings from shows.
So this is what Dallas said. He goes, "It's the right deal somewhere. It's the right deal somewhere in the middle of bad and great. I feel for the nihilists who thought they were going to take it to the AMPTP and make them pay, or ban AI outright, or get room minimums of 5 or more, but they were always delusional. It is substantially similar to the last AMPTP offer from August. It would be a better deal if it was made 6 months ago or 3 months ago, but I guess the studios had to get all those bad deals off the books." So this here says, this is somebody from Deadline says, "This is a bunch of happy horse shit. This contract is fine. It's basically the Directors Guild agreement deal with meaningful gains for feature screenwriters and arbitrary backstops for AI and staffing," meaning that they're putting caps on what AI can do and minimum staffing requirements, which is actually one of the parts I find the most annoying.
Yes.
That you get to tell them how many people they have to hire.
But also how long you have to be hired for a show.
It says the DGA started negotiating 14 months before their contract to avoid strike. The WGA decided they were going to strike no matter what and told their members to insult the AMPTP. The DGA and anyone who didn't fall in line with the caustic language and BS existential crisis. And that's the heart of the matter, right? At the end of the day, everyone looked at the writers and is still looking at the actors like they're insufferable know-it-alls who want everything their way and don't want to make any concessions, while also not being responsible for the work if it fails.
Yeah, but a lot of the writers are saying that they wouldn't have gotten this deal had SAG not joined in the strikes.
Yeah, dual strike.
And then the SAG people are saying, well, now that they've gotten a good deal that they wanted, it looks more likely for us too. I did want to mention the AI regulations that they agreed on. It says, under this contract, raw AI-generated storylines will not be regarded as literary material.
That was never going to happen.
A term in their contracts for scripts and other story forms a screenwriter produces. This means they won't be competing with computers for screen credits, nor will AI-generated stories be considered source material for novels, video games, or other works that writers may adapt into scripts.
So this is what they wanted. It says regulate use of artificial intelligence on MBA covered projects. AI can't write or rewrite literary material, can't be used as source material on MBA covered material, can't be used to train AI. This is what they got. And
okay, but if you use AI as your source material for like the skeleton of a script that you end up writing, no one can prove that you did or didn't do that. It is, in fact, the source material for your idea. It's not your idea.
Yeah. And then,
so no one can actually enforce that AI isn't going to be used for source material.
There was that ruling from a judge recently that said that AI scripts are not copyright eligible. So what you'd have to do is have the program ChatGPT, whatever it is, I'm sure they have more advanced versions now, write a baseline script and then have to have a script editor or a writer go through it once and put their own touch on it to make it a copyrightable material.
Now, if they do that, once they put their own rewrites or human additions to it,
there's a $20 one.
No
there
one will.
From Cheap Op-Off.
He said, "Love y'all. Just a little contribution here."
Thank you.
Thank
you.
And
we are more than half of the way to 4 crisis parties to prove your loyalty to the Claires. We're getting there. So that was a big part of it. Also here, this is what the developing room premium rates for up to 19 weeks. So remember, if you're a staff writer, up to a year, that is a weekly rate of $6,959.
That's so outrageous.
So story editor, $12,978. Writer producer, $14,214. And then this is where they didn't get quite what they wanted. So minimum amount of writers per room. 6 or fewer episodes is a minimum of 3 with a minimum of 3 producers in the writer's room. 7 to 12 episodes. Minimum of 5 writers, minimum of 3 producers. 13 episodes plus, minimum of 6 writers, minimum of 3 producers. Now, what they wanted for this is they wanted the 6 number across the board. They wanted a minimum of 6 writers on all counts.
I thought it was even more than that. They were like, we need minimum 20 writers per episode or else you're oppressing us.
Yeah. So, and then this is insane. Writer producer weekly minimums up to 9 weeks, $11,371 a week. Up to from 10 to 19 weeks, $9,470. Obviously, as you work for a more extended period of time, it goes down slightly. 20 plus weeks at $8,524 a week.
This is nuts.
It's a lot of money to.
That is just outrageous. Where are the numbers coming from?
And those
How
numbers.
How is this calculated? It's just they're pulling these numbers out of their ass.
The numbers for those minimums are very much close to what they were initially bargained for several months ago, right? So 13 episodes will get you 6 writers, no to everything above 6. Now they wanted a minimum raise of 5 to 6%. What they got was 2.5 to 5%.
It was 3.5 to 5.
No, I thought it said 2 point. The studio,
they got the compromise deal was a raise of between 3.5% and 5%.
Yes. Okay. So it's.
And they also are going to get more in residuals if the show that they write ends up blowing up, which makes sense to me, at least, to incentivize them writing things that aren't heaping piles of garbage.
Yeah, you want to.
It will incentivize them to make something successful, and I don't think that they've been incentivized to do that.
Yes. Here's the problem. You're not like the studios are not incentivized now because look, they don't want to hire. Like they want more episodes. They're not going to want to do more episodes if it's going to make them hire more writers.
They're more likely to cancel things early, which is what everyone has been crying and stomping their feet about.
They're going to cancel things sooner. They're going to make one of the things they've been complaining about is limited run series. Well, if you're going to make them staff 6 writers for 13 or more episodes, why the hell would they want to do 13 episodes? Do 12 episodes. Do 10 episodes.
Overall, I find this development disappointing because I was hoping that both strikes would go into next year and just continue in perpetuity as long as humanly possible. But I think they're going to start negotiating with SAG next, and they're going to get the last laugh too. But it's been a good run, y'all.
No, that's
I just saw the celebrity auction thing where they're all pooling together auction money to give to like healthcare costs for below line workers. One is Caitlyn Jenner will run over your nemesis with her car.
I really dislike
a game of 20 questions with Sarah Silverman.
I would literally pay for none of these.
I would make them pay me to do that.
I'm I'm more annoyed by more than any of the thing on there, more than the AI, more than the residuals. The idea that they get to micromanage for the people paying the money, how many writers get hired really, really bothered me. Now, the other thing that I thought was interesting was this part here about streaming data transparency. It says the companies agree to provide the guild, subject to a confidentiality agreement, the total numbers of hours streamed both domestically and internationally of self-produced high-budget streaming programs like a Netflix original series. The guild may share information with the membership in aggregated form. I would love to know how they're going to even be able to prove the numbers that they gave them are accurate. Like, what is the method of distribution that proves that the numbers that streaming service provides the guild are the actual numbers?
Well, the numbers that these streaming services give to their own investors and to the IRS are fake.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would be any more honest when it comes to paying the writers.
And at the end of the day, like, who gets to decide, like, they need to find a better way to figure out where the money is, like what people are watching beyond just streams played, right? So, unfortunately, back in the day when you had ad revenue, you had a vast pool of money coming in, going to different things specifically. Now it all pulls from one pool, which is your membership, is your amount of people subscribing. Right? So, like, I wonder if some of these shows would eventually decide to do something where they, like, ask to be given ads. Like, make a show designed for ads and just sell your stuff to Tubi.
Let's bring back commercial breaks.
That's what's going to happen, right? It's just going to end up going full circle.
Yeah.
Because a lot of shows that I love have ended up going to, like, Tubi or to Freevee because there's more ad revenue, there's more to be gained by going on these streaming services where they know they'll do well because people will actually be watching it. Like imagine if they put Seinfeld on an ad tier one. It would make a crap ton of money.
True.
Because people actually want to watch Seinfeld or The Office. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a whole ton of money to be made on those. Somebody mentions product placement. Yeah, that was some of the worst. Like when I watched that first episode of Citadel and there was a Grubhub bag just positioned like right here in front of them as they're talking. And the worst part is it's like a CGI Grubhub bag, meaning like the bag was there, but they put the logo on after the fact. And it was just like, it never bothered me when Michael Bay would do it because it was always funny. Like a Transformer flipping over a Mountain Dew vending machine was hilarious.
Does that work for the tone of something like Citadel?
No, it doesn't. Like a Michael Bay movie, seeing Bumblebee flipped over a Mountain Dew vending machine literally made me laugh out loud.
That's like seeing a product placement for Burger King in the Continental. Like, it's just not... Yeah. It doesn't work.
Well, and that's so funny too because that was a big bone of contention in Iron Man in the first Iron Man movie, where Iron Man he's been stuck captive in like the Middle East for 6 months, and he gets back and his big thing, he's like, I'm gonna go get an American burger, and he gets a Burger King burger, and everyone's like, you come back to America and you just
don't go to McDonald's, you fraud.
You hold up a Burger King burger. That was like the most ultimate.
I thought he would have like developed a taste for halal.
You would have thought that by that point, right? You would have wanted that.
Quick, take me to the nearest halal market.
It will be interesting to see what the actors get from their deal here. Again, I don't think they're going to get their way with the AI. I think the AI is still going to make a lot of inroads into this stuff, and they're going to end up paying in the long run. It's also interesting that they mentioned that the Writers Guild acted in good faith. They started their negotiations a year before the strike, so they could actually get it done.
And then SAG just kind of hitched their wagon.
Yeah.
And waited until somebody else started it.
It says writers also got a guarantee that staffs on show in initial development will be employed for at least 10 weeks. So a show that might not even make it to screen. So think about what's a show that ended up. So think you're on the. Imagine Batwoman or Batgirl was a show rather than a movie, and they develop it, and they spend 10 weeks in script writing where they're making a minimum of like $11,000 a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's industry bloat.
Just to have a show that might. How often do we see shows get canceled before they even come out? All the time. Mm-hmm. Things get scrapped all the time for tons of reasons.
Or things that get removed from the streaming service after the fact.
And that's the other thing, dude. They'll just pull stuff down.
Yeah.
Like before,
because they don't want to pay you residuals anymore. They're more likely to take your work off of the service,
or they're going to sell it off.
They're just like not logical people. Yeah. They're just people who don't think.
Yep.
They don't know what they would feel like if they didn't have breakfast this morning.
Yep. It's crazy, dude. It's just it'll see where it goes. Brett, there was also a Mountain Dew Transformer in the first movie. It shot Mountain Dew. I don't remember that, and I love that movie. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that because that's one of my favorite. I love the first Transformers movie. So if that's true, I love it even more. It's even better. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.